I'm Mark.
And I'm Josh.
And this is Alter Ego Comics TV, episode number 117. We are from Alter Ego Comics in Lima, Ohio, the best comic book store in the land. Actually, last week made us feel like the best comic book store in the land. We were honored to receive an award from the Lima-Allen County Chamber of Commerce, naming us the Small Business of the Year last week. So that was an amazing start. And then we wrapped up last week with Free Comic Book Day, our biggest and best ever. Over 1,300 people came through the door and walked away with over 6,000 free comics. We had 2 live bands playing. We had 2 live crew playing. We did not. We had a huge sale. We had characters in costume, free food. It was just a blast, and the weather was nice. So it was an amazing week. But here we are this week to talk about some comics that we liked, and we're also going to give you our 2 cents on Iron Man 3. But we'll kick things off with Deadpool number 9, written by Brian Posehn, Jerry Dugan, and artwork by that guy, Mike Hawthorne, who actually does a really nice job. He's no Tony Moore, but it still looks really good. This series, as you may recall, has been on my list of good things since the beginning, and I am not a big Deadpool fan. I know many long-standing Deadpool fans are disappointed that the voices in his head have disappeared. Well, you should be happy now because there is one voice in his head now. It just belongs to someone else. It belongs to an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. who was killed in the line of duty, and now she is in his head. And they're trying to find a way to get her out because she has a son and a husband, and she doesn't want to live in Deadpool's head because it's a freaky place to live. This book is jam-packed with humor and action and fun stuff. It's everything comics should be, and every issue has been an A+ for me. Thoroughly enjoying the series, and you should come in and check it out. It's awesome. Deadpool fights sharks in this one, and you've got Ghost Ben Franklin is still hanging around from the first storyline. It's just so much fun, and the humor is really what does this for me. I mean, I chuckle many times when I read this. It could be the voices in my head, but it's probably the comic.
My first pick this week is Avengers Assemble number 15 AU. That's right. We've got another one-shot set in the Age of Ultron universe, written by Al Ewing with art by Butch Guice. This is kind of a throwback to the way comic books used to be. In the 1960s and the 70s, Stan would be like, go write me a story about a shark. And then there would be a story with the shark. We'd introduce 3 new characters. The story would be done by the end of the issue, and it would be awesome. And that's what this is. We're seeing how the Age of Ultron is affecting the Marvel Universe, Britannia. You've got some characters you recognize, like Captain Britain, the current Excalibur. Captain Marvel is over there on vacation, Carol Danvers. And we've also got a couple characters that, if they've ever been in the Marvel Universe before, I've never seen them. We have a young girl with soccer powers, and a guy whose abilities is to manipulate video games, but it's never worked on anything newer than a Commodore 64. And if you can't tell from that description of the heroes of the story, it's really fun. It is serious peril. They're trying to save Britain, but it's also very light-hearted and joyful, and it was a great read. It was fun, exciting characters introduced, and the whole story wraps up in one issue. It's an easy pick for you.
Staying with easy picks and things that I've picked before, Thor God of Thunder, number 8 by Jason Aaron and Esad Ribic continues the God Bomb storyline, also the continuation of the Gore storyline, Gorr. That's his name, right? Yeah.
Also a continuation of this week's theme as Shark Week.
Yes. But they're like in space, right?
They're space sharks, yeah.
Space
I don't know
sharks.
what those are. But
listen, if you're not reading this, there's something wrong with you. If you're not enjoying this, there's something wrong with you. I'm calling it like it is. I'm telling it like it is here. This book is outstanding. This will go down, I said this from the first issue, as one of the best Thor stories ever. It's just so amazing to look at between Ribic, and they had another artist fill in for a couple issues, and it still looked outstanding. Aaron has a firm grasp of how Thor should be written. It's got fantasy, it's got goddery, it's got a crazy villain, all-powerful villain, and we get 3 Thors, three Thors for the price of 1 in this book, which is crazy. And we get to meet Thor's grandchildren, who don't know that he's their grandfather, because this evil god is picking gods out of time and then making them work for him to build his god bomb. When you say it that way, it sounds ludicrous, but it's actually a lot of fun, and it's really good. I cannot stress enough. Maybe if I add a few more reallys in there, it's really, really good. When the first volume comes out, if you haven't been reading this, you need to pick it up. It's just awesome. There's the awesome meter. Bing! Go.
And my last pick this week is Archer and Armstrong Zero. This is written by Fred Van Lente with art by Clayton Henry. And I'm on my knees. Please read Archer and Armstrong. This is a zero issue, so you don't have to read any of the previous continuity. You can just pick it up and go. This is essentially, if you remember, show of hands, who's read the Epic of Gilgamesh? So, thank you.
I was in high school, but that's the last time I read it.
If you haven't read the Epic of Gilgamesh, if you've ever seen that Star Trek episode where Picard goes down to the planet, and it's Jamak and Talad and Tanagra and Shaka when the walls fell, that book, the story he tells to the guy. So this is essentially Archer.
Four lights. No, not that one.
Not that one, no.
Wait, the one he played the flute?
Yeah.
No, not that one.
When we got old? No.
One where he was a wuss? Oh,
that's all of them.
Go.
So Archer has sort of seen that the world is not the way he thought it was, and being raised by a religious cult, he's been not exposed to a lot of things. He's decided to check out this forbidden literature, and he's starting at the beginning with the Epic of Gilgamesh. Fortunately for him, Armstrong was there and chooses to tell him the story, and it's a great overlay of the Epic of Gilgamesh, as well as the backstory for Armstrong, essentially, and his brothers, and it's just a great one-and-done series. It's fun, it's exciting. Everything you know is in this issue, and I'll make you a deal. The first 5 people that come into the store and ask me about it will get a free copy of Archer and Armstrong #1. It's a reprint, but it's a free copy, and you can see how awesome this book is from the very beginning. It's good.
Good idea. All right, well, let's talk Iron Man. Iron Man 3. Now, there will be spoilers. There will be spoilers ahead. So in post, let's put some big blinking spoiler warning in here, and maybe some klaxons, some sound effects, so that we are going to talk about what happens in the movie. And we normally don't spoil things in comics and other stuff, but it's by the time this goes up, it will have been a week since Iron Man 3 came out. And any comic fan worth their salt will have seen this movie by now. So, Iron Man 3 is the story of Tony Stark. He's struggling. He's struggling after the Avengers. You've seen in the trailer, he can't sleep. He's tinkering around. He's building lots of suits of armor. His relationship with Pepper is a little bit strained. And then he turns on the TV and sees that there's this big bad called the Mandarin who is threatening the United States and the president in particular. And he feels like he needs to get involved, but he's not able to because the government doesn't want him doing superhero-y things. This is a terrorism issue, not a superhero issue, as his friend Rhodey says, who is now the Iron Patriot, changed over from War Machine. And Tony lets us know how much he hates the name Iron Patriot. So we got the Mandarin, and then we're introduced to Aldrich Killian. What a stupid name. Who is almost like a James Bond villain in this movie. And he has developed this stuff that makes people go boom. And we're off and running. There's the movie. Would you like to add anything more to?
No, you go continue your summary here.
Okay. That's kind of all I want to say about it.
All right,
but no, go ahead.
Just so I've got this clear. There's a guy who's having trouble with his girlfriend at Christmas, and then a terror attack strikes and takes him out of his element, and he has to fight just with the aid of a normal person. And then he ultimately finds out that the terrorist isn't actually a terrorist. I think I liked it better when it was called Die Hard.
There's also a great scene with a black guy and a white guy, who are both good guys, in a shipyard shooting guns at Christmas time. Lethal Weapon 2, folks. That's what this was. Both of which, I believe, well, at least the Lethal Weapon movies were written by Shane Black, who wrote and directed Iron Man 3. And we haven't seen him in a while. He's one of those Hollywood mystery stories where he was an up-and-coming script doctor and writer in Hollywood in the 1980s, and then he had some big hits, and he disappeared off the face of the earth. And then he came back and directed
Kiss, Bang,
Bang, also with Robert Downey Jr. and Val Kilmer, which is a very good movie, and you should seek it out. It came out in 2005-ish, I believe. And now he's writing and directing Iron Man 3, which is making $1 bajillion at the box office. So he'll probably be back. In fact, I think they announced yesterday he's going to make a Doc Savage movie, which is crazy. So anyway, that's a little bit about the movie. You've seen it, and it's kind of polarizing the fan community, I think. Many people are unhappy with the treatment of the Mandarin. Me, I liked it. I bought into it. I was happy with what they did, and I also think there's more to the Mandarin story than what we're seeing in this movie. You can see the little twinkle in Sir Ben's eye when he tells the bad guys that he didn't tell Tony and Rhodey anything. I think that the Mandarin is a little deeper than what we're seeing on the screen. Even if he isn't, though, I think it was a brilliant move. What people need to understand is that this is a movie based on a comic book. This is not the comic book. The comic book world and the movie world based on comics are two completely different things. They always will be. And as soon as you accept that, you will find peace in the world and not be so angry when you go to comic book movies and things get changed. So, I like that. What else did I like? I liked that we got to see Pepper in the armor for a little bit. I liked the credits montage that they did with scenes from all three Iron Man movies with a very 70s kind of Pulp Fiction-y Kill Bill soundtrack going on. What did you like?
I liked the movie. It was good.
Josh has changed his tune. We both saw it Thursday night.
I said
and he said it was good, bordering on great. He then saw it again, and now he's whining about it.
It's not as good as it was the first time. No, it's a great action-y movie. I mean, I think it is a great action comedy. It may not be a great Iron Man movie, which is not an inherent problem. I mean, movies are different, and it was very good. It was enjoyable the first time through, and I enjoyed good chunks of it the second time. But the plot does wear thin, and you don't want to think too heavily about what anyone's actually doing, because we've got a think tank of brilliant people who've been working on this extremis for 13 years, and it was already heating up and blowing stuff up 13 years ago. How come we can recode human DNA? All we've thought to do is to make things hot. That's our huge achievement. Also, what happens is when you capture someone and you have them at your mercies, the first thing you want to do is give them superpowers. That's a great idea.
So anyway, in summary, I really enjoyed it. I would give it a B+ on the letter grade scale. Definitely better than Iron Man 2, but I could make a movie better than Iron Man 2. But not as good as the first one. I know a lot of people are chiming in saying, ooh, it's the best Iron Man ever, and that's your prerogative, absolutely. But I would say that the first Iron Man film was still the best of the three, but Iron Man 3 is definitely worth seeing, a worthy entry into the Iron Man trilogy. And man, Robert Downey Jr. he is Tony Stark. I don't care what anybody says. They're talking about, there are going to be more Iron Man movies, but Downey Jr.'s contract has been fulfilled. He may not re-up again. If they hire someone else to play Tony Stark, I pity that person immensely. This is almost not even like a James Bond thing. Sure, you've had multiple actors play James Bond, but I mean, I wish I was around when they switched from Sean Connery to Roger Moore, because what's up with that? How was Roger Moore ever James Bond? Sorry, sidetracked. But Robert Downey Jr. is Tony Stark. He should ride that wave for as long as he can, and we will keep going to those movies because of his performance. It has been outstanding. Even though Iron Man 2 was a very flawed movie, seeing Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark / Iron Man was worth it. It's just a lot of fun. Same way with Iron Man 3. So hopefully he'll be back at least for Avengers 2 in 2015, and who knows what the future holds for the Iron Man movie franchise.
I'm casting Johnny Depp as the new Iron Man.
Yeah,
he can do it.
I'm casting Johnny Depp as Jim Rhodes, because apparently he can play anybody.
So can Robert Downey Jr. though. Tropic Thunder. So.
So anyway, that was kind of a lighthearted review of Iron Man 3. Again, if you haven't seen it, you just got the whole movie spoiled for you. I'm sorry. We gave you plenty of notice to go away. But let us know what you think. Post it in the comments below. Be nice, though. Don't be mean and post hurtful things using 4-letter words. Be professional, as we are. Thank you for watching. See you next time.